end this week, I'd like to tell you how God used the robins on my renewal to talk to me. In week 1, the first thing I noticed was 2 robins. One was fat and one was pretty skinny. They weren't really together, and they would land on the trees and on the wires, but they were constantly there. It wasn't until week 2 that suddenly I noticed they had a nest right outside the bedroom window. So I began watching as one bird, only one, constantly went and sat in the nest during the day and of course at night. I thought it was a little weird, but didn't go on from there. In week 3, I noticed that this skinnier bird kept eating more and more, would fly around and sit on the lines with worms in its mouth. I thought it must just really be hungry, but I continued watching. It wasn't until the 4th week that as I looked at the nest one day, I saw 2 little baby heads pop their heads up out of the nest. The mother had been feeding them and rearing them, and I didn't even realize they were there. The day before we left, we went on a hike and came back, and the birds were gone. The day we left, I looked for them, but the adults and the babies were gone. I pondered about that and wondered, what are you telling me, God, through all this? Remember, the spiritual meaning of a robin is hope, renewal, and rebirth. At first, God was reminding me that He was there. He would give me the renewal that I was needing. As I settled into the renewal, God constantly through the robins was telling me that He was watching over me, feeding me, providing me a safe place. When we saw the babies, that was a sign that hope was being multiplied. And when I left and the robins had left too, God was indicating that I was to begin the journey back home to Walnut Street with hope, renewal, and rebirth in my heart and soul, and I was to pass it on to others. The other thing I learned through these robins, as I've now seen so many of them in my own backyard, is that I must continue to take time to be with God, to wait on God, and sit with Jesus. What about you? Will you purposefully carve out time for God in the coming busy weeks ahead?